This war with Iran has been a time of reflection for me because I came of age politically 25 years ago with the protests against the Iraq war and the failure of the peace movement to make any substantive change in American society. By the peace movement, we mean all those structures that grew up with protests against the Vietnam War, magazines, radio programs, and environmental groups, and all these kind of groups pushing for transparency in government. Their failure to address the questions about who did 9/11, their stubborn refusal, and their anger against those who would address the questions of the authors of the September 11th attacks. This was the suicide of the peace movement and ultimately led to a situation where we have somebody like Donald Trump and these new wars. And they would argue on that foreign wars are bad on principle, but they couldn't put themselves in the shoes of the ordinary American. And the ordinary person in the world doesn't care about their left-wing political philosophy. They don't care about the fact that they've been in the game for so long. Jeremy Scahill, Amy Goodman, Noam Chomsky, etc. They see the demonization of Islam, and they really believe it. Most people in the world don't care about the distinction between Sunni Islam and Shia Islam. They believe the caricature and the demonization of Islam as terrorists. And just like September 11th turned the entire world into this giant terror state, knowing the truth about September 11th would have been and still could be such a force for good in the world. And it's those people that are self-appointed, Norman Finkelstein's another one. They poo-poo those who've been raising questions about the September 11th attack. And now that it's gone so far, so much time has passed, it's really entered into the public consciousness as a myth. And there isn't, a lot of details now don't seem to matter as much. A lot of the really first-rate books that were written about the September 11th attacks are now out of print. And it's just sad, and it shows the arrogance of the peace movement, and it's really, really the peace movement's fault that Donald Trump could take over America like this. And you expand the U.S. empire in such an arrogant way, but you get what you deserve. And now we're looking at the fact that Iran may have won this war and the damage that's going to do to America and America's role in the world, the continued rise of multipolarity. But this is also true, the demonization of the 9/11 truth movement. This is also true for the right and the children of the Ron Paul revolution, those who advocate for so-called Austrian economics, people like Dave Smith and Scott Horton. They also don't want anything to do with the September 11th truth movement, and they can't see that this is the key. It would have been the key all along to creating the kind of substantive changes in transparency in government that they ostensibly say that they're working for.